Welcome to the Volunteers Portal, a space for your volunteers to manage their engagement with your organisation, which allows them to be more self-sufficient, thereby saving you and the volunteer valuable time. Your volunteers will have one destination they go to where they can sign up for your volunteer opportunities, manage their schedule, log hours, run reports on their contributions, communicate with your groups they're associated with, and keep their profile information up to date. On the volunteers homepage, they can keep informed about the hours they are contributing over time, and they can be alerted about any upcoming assignments. And these assignments can be directly added into the volunteers' iCal, Outlook, Google or Yahoo Calendar. You can choose to share photos with your volunteers of perhaps some volunteer moments and memories, a personal message or general message for all volunteers. Share your mission statement, as well as a Twitter and Facebook feed, and documents that you'd like your volunteers to be able to reference or complete for you. When your volunteers sign up for opportunities, you can control your roles so that only those volunteers who you want to be able to sign up for them can do so, such as those who are qualified for them. The description and any qualifications can be seen for the opportunity. Your volunteers can sign up for shifts they're available for, and you can automate the assignment process if you like, so that when the right candidate signs up to do that volunteer shift, they are immediately given the assignment. This saves you time. Volunteers can filter the schedule, so they can only be looking at shifts they'd like to potentially sign up for, and then they can sign up for one, some, or all that they'd like to do. And should any be full already, a volunteer can put themselves on the backup list, so that in the event a gap should appear in your schedule for this role, you can look back to your backup list to fill it with another volunteer. Volunteers can also view and print out their personal schedule of assignments in a list and a calendar format as well. They can confirm or decline assignments they've been given, and when you allow it, they can remove or cancel for an assignment they can no longer commit to. If you like, you can get an email notifying you of the gap they are creating in your schedule. Volunteers can also subscribe to a weekly email reminder about their upcoming shifts. And if you like, you can allow volunteers to see who else has been assigned to work with them for that role. Volunteers control how much of their information they want displaying here to the other volunteers. If needed for your program, you can allow volunteers to log hours. One way is for them to create a new time log from within their volunteer portal and just simply indicate the role they did, the date they did it, and the amount of time they spent volunteering. Another way you may choose to allow your volunteers to record the time they are giving is to have them checking in and out from a kiosk when they show up for their assignment. You can also allow the volunteers to do this from their mobile devices if you'd like. The volunteer starts the clock for their role, and then they stop it once they've finished. Ever have volunteers ask you how many hours they gave your organisation? Well, now your volunteers can find those answers out on their own time. Volunteers can easily see the contributions they're making in terms of their lifetime hours and hours so far this year. Or they can see it in a bar graph and chart, and they can see month by month the time they've been giving. Some volunteers may have service hours they must complete, and thus they can set a goal for themselves for the hours they'd like to reach in a time period and have that tracked, even if it's just a goal they want to track for personal interest's sake. And they can run reports specific to their contributions and the time they've been giving, so they don't have to use your time to ask you to run that report on their behalf. Volunteers can easily email you as an administrator or any committees and groups that they belong to that you're allowing them to email. Volunteers simply type their message, add any attachments, and send. Volunteers can keep their profile information up to date, so you aren't using your time for that administrative work. And there you have it, one personalised space for your volunteers to fully manage their involvement with your organisation's volunteer programme. And that space is branded with your organisation's banner and colours.